everyone, this is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We are coming at you with a super spicy episode 368, and we are recording on 4/20/2026. Hey, let's blaze it. Hope everyone enjoyed the devil's lettuce. I'm Doug. Joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform. Sub to us on YouTube. Join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the nation. Guys, it was a long, mentally taxing episode because in the after hours, we have a 4th generation girl group health checkup. We promise it's not a tier list, but we talk about all of your favorite 4th gen girl groups. It was a big time event for us. Hey, we're also going to talk about some fun songs, including fan favorites Cortis and Yves. It's been a fun episode. Yeah. Let's get this shit going. 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, big new releases. We got 3 tracks this week. Ifeye with Hazy, Daisy. We got Yves with Nail featuring Lolo, Zouaï. And we have Cortis with REDRED. Let's start at the top with Ifeye with Hazy. So they are from Hi-Hat Entertainment. The other 2 songs they have are You Okay and Nerdy. And for everyone's information, last year when we covered Are You Okay, it came out of Hall of Spice with came out of SojuScore with a massive 7.51 and entered the Hall of Spice.
Holy shit.
It's a good song.
Holy shit.
This is a really good song. So this is the one after that. It's called Hazy, Daisy, in parentheses. Should I just say what I actually feel? Let me just rip off the Band-Aid.
Okay.
Sure.
I felt that this track relied so heavily on the drum and bass thing, right? And then when we stopped doing the drum and bass thing, it got slower just to get back to the drum and bass in the chorus, to the song's detriment.
So you're telling me the only thing the song has going for itself is the fucking percussions?
Atmospheric drum and bass. Yeah. I think it has atmosphere going for it.
Oh, I see.
And then even when we got to the bridge, we did like nothing. It got slower again. Am I crazy? Am I talking out of my ass?
No.
Right? I don't think I am. To be honest,
Here's the thing. I don't mind the beat. I feel like the beat is fine. Like I like the genre, and it makes sense with how it was made. I guess. Like I didn't think there was anything like bad like about it.
Exactly.
I just felt that it was paired with like the top line melody, like the vocals. It felt a quite mellow and like very like middle of the road, you know, like it's very chill and I think some people will like that, I think, but I couldn't help but compare it to their previous song Are You Okay, and the energy and like the beat with that. So I feel like, to me, I felt like, oh, this is an interesting change of pace, a much more mellow, much more chill aesthetic, sound, everything. And I feel like the risk of that is that it just feels a little bland, maybe. Like there's not a lot that makes it exciting or stand out. But I mean, it's not necessarily bad, so I don't know. I'm kind of left kind of in the middle with this.
Kind of in the middle is how I describe the song. Like,
oh,
right? I think both my enjoyment and the song itself, the sounds are stuck in the middle too.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any crazy disagreements with you guys. Like, let me start there. Like, I am sort of with you guys. I think it's a little generic. I think it's a little draggy. But the thing is, like, I do think overall it's like generally well put together enough to the point where if you enjoy the recent trends of like atmospheric drum and bass that we've been getting, the music trend that's been kicked off with like Super Shy and like Pink Panthers and like all that, like like
it makes sense. Like it's like the composition and everything. It makes sense,
right? It makes sense. Like there's enough for you to enjoy here, but I'm like also very much aware that we have had some great moments with this kind of sound and this kind of trend cycle where, like, you know, it doesn't particularly stand out too well. It's got some nice sine waves, the melodies are nice, like the sound waves, since I thought like sounded pretty nice. The drums sound all right and appropriate for the aesthetic. So like it feels like they made a lot of the correct decisions again and again and again and again, and you end up with like a pretty safe track overall that it works, it delivers on what it wants to do clearly, but does it stick out from the rest of the pack? I don't know. If you told, honestly, like when I was first listening to this morning, I had forgotten that this was the group that did "Are You Okay?" Like,
me too. I had to look up. Did we cover this group before? And then I was like, oh shit,
yeah.
Are you okay? Oh shit.
Yeah, like it felt like the vocals were stronger on like "Are You Okay?" Like it felt like. It felt a little more fragile in a not super positive way with this track. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I felt as you're talking about the vocals, I also felt that, but in the chorus specifically, like the second part of the chorus, I felt like I understand what we were doing with it, but it felt like a little disconnected with like the instrumental in a way. I don't know. I also, I guess I agree. I felt like the vocals were standing out in a not so positive way in this case. Yeah. I did want to bring up one thing, and I kind of mentioned it to Doug before we started recording. I've been seeing some comments about the production for this song, and that apparently the team that produced their first two songs, like Nerdy, Are You Okay?, is no longer the team working with them, right?
So there's a guy named Ryu D. He stepped down as both creative director and producer in the last since the last release 9 months ago. So they changed who's ever driving the boat with this team.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe that explains a little bit of the change too. Unfortunately.
I mean, it still feels like the driving production team behind the wheel here is generally interested in keeping Ifeye close to like what is a more trend forward sound, I guess. But on the other hand, it does make me think like, you know, not only is this starkly different from where we were with Ifeye, where we were with Are You Okay? I don't know, like I was getting the impression that like we were starting to move away from this particular formula of sounds. Like a lot of people did
trend wise,
right? Yeah, like a lot of people did liquid drum and bass, like jungle, breakcore. Like we had a moment, and I don't want to point my finger towards this is a trend. You know, like I don't want to do that yet. But like, if, for example, if New Jeans was like. And I mentioned New Jeans because they introduced the sound to K-pop. If they had like been still active right now, I would doubt that they're still doing drum and bass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's very curious as to where the production team wants to take this group, because at the moment, not sure where. Where are we driving towards?
Here's what it is.
Outlook is very
hazy. My feeling would be it would be one thing if this was like our first time listening to this group and we had zero expectations, right? If this was like a fresh group out of nowhere, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's fine. But I think what I want everyone at home to know is we're not saying this song is bad. It's not bad. It's fine.
No, it's not.
Right? But it's just when I see the adventurous steps, the decisions that were made in like in the previous couple tracks from them, and then I see this where it's more like, you know, I would say more meta conforming is what I would say, right?
Oh,
I go like, I would go like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish we were being more adventurous because I liked what we were doing. It felt like courageous. It felt cool. It felt like a giant step forward. It's like, wow, you're gonna push the envelope a little. I can respect that. I'm just laughing because I'm looking at the comment sections on YouTube.
Yeah.
Every comment that talks about the production change, there's this one Korean person who's writing like sassy things to them. It's really
In
funny.
response?
Whoa, what are they saying?
Like one person wrote, "It's good, but I wish they didn't fire the whole team. Nerdy and Are You Okay were on another level for me." This Korean person wrote, "The song is good. I hope you have great success in life." Just
So
maybe they really like this.
I know they're defending them in like every like neutral comment I see. It's kind of funny.
hey, I mean, you got to keep the comment section healthy. You know, is what it is.
I know. I just thought it was funny that it's all these English comments and then there's one Korean comment and this person's like saying shit like that. It's kind of funny.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm also aware that this is coming from Hi Hat Company. Their current artist lineup is someone called Callie, Ifeye, and then someone called Song Seung-ho, who was a part of Close Your Eyes.
Okay.
That's it. This is not a company that is like they're not like swimming in money at the moment. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm sure they got seed funding somewhere. You know, like they had like an audition cycle as soon as they like founded the company in 2021. They like guys from like Genie Music, I believe, was a part of the founding process. My laundry machine is wrapping up. That's why you're hearing that melody in the background. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is this company's not a company that is like always going to be taking infinite amounts of risks. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. However, I do think it's when you're like 2 tracks in already, and this is your like 3rd release, they're kind of, head jerking like this a little bit, kind of shifting a little starkly. I don't know if marketing wise that's a good move. You know what I mean? Like artist catalog aside, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I mentioned earlier, I forgot that this was the group that did Are You Okay earlier on because it was so different.
I agree with that because their first track that they released, Nerdy, is somewhat similar to this one. So that was released April last year, right? Then they follow it up with Are You Okay in July, so that's pretty shortly after, right? And then we get a 9-month break plus a management internal shift. Like, I'm not trying to say if I had like the craziest trajectory ever after Are You Okay? You know what I mean? I'm not saying like the wheels were turning or anything like that, or we're flying up the mountain. But like, if I'm a supporter of this group and we're a rookie group and we wait 9 months and we switch the management, I would say if it's a group I like, I'd be like a little concerning, at a minimum, unless we come out with an absolute slapper,
Yeah, is that I guess it comes down to that. Like, if you're gonna shift, it better be a slap and shift. I don't know if this is a slap and shift. It would have been a okay song.
It's a bit of a nudge.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say? I don't think we do. It doesn't look like anyone wants to.
But
all right,
yeah.
No, at the end of the day, like, the song's fine, but is it getting anyone super excited? That's up for debate, right?
That's the question.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. We have Yves with Nail featuring Lolo Zouaï. I did look up the pronunciation of that because I was gonna fail at that.
Wow.
And I do know her company is Paper Mill now. I looked up that too today because that's one of the ones I always stumble on. I go Pex per mill, that's all right. But I'm here. Other songs, Ex Machina. I looked that one up too. Open my
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I'm good. I looked up everything. We're fine.
I just want to let you know though, in Korean, their pronunciation is Pikes per mil. So
Pikes.
All right, whatever, Yves. Okay, Yves. All right, let's talk about Nail. Number one, off the bat, guys, it's fairly obvious. This is not a song that is typically up Doug's wheelhouse. You know what I mean? This is not a traditional K-pop song. I think that's fairly evident to anyone who's listened to about 5 to 10 episodes of our podcast. Right?
You say that about every Yves song now, though. Like,
it's true though. She consistently makes music, but I will contend. For some reason, maybe it's I'm an Eve fan. I was an Eve bias in the Luna days. If anyone didn't know that, but something about this track to me felt very compelling. And I can't put my finger. I'm hoping to learn from your guys' reaction to the song as to why. Because I listened to this, I was like, we're cooking something here. It's interesting what we're doing here. I was deeply invested in this, and I would listen to this again. You know, I keep bumping this one.
Nice. I'm glad.
Yeah, you know, I
we
feel
have similar responses.
I think so.
No, I think for me, the thing that really makes this song so good, in my opinion, is the beat and how it's structured. So I think from the get-go, it feels super heavy, but it's very simple. Like, it's not a ton going on. And I think the way that it pairs visually is also really interesting. So I guess maybe, I don't know. For me, the visuals were really cool. Very eerie, very like mysterious, kind of creepy vibes. And the beat, I think, kind of like complements that very well. Going into the chorus and then adding more instruments and then the whispering chorus bit, which I at first was not a huge fan of, but after a couple listens, I feel that it works well, because then another melody comes in like behind it and it kind of just blends it in. I don't know, that was it for me. I feel like what grabbed me first was the beat and the visuals.
It's like, have you ever like seen one of those like advertisements with like a giant amount of like white space and like a fancy like still image of like a modern dancer, and the text is like, got milk?
No, it reminds me of, we might be aging ourselves. Those Take 5 gum commercials back in the day.
What?
That's what this. That's what this music video reminded. They were like these almost dystopian, like
underground
empty spaces, metallic, commercials back in the day. And they were all blue toned, like
dark.
This. Yeah. Almost Matrixy, almost cyberpunky. Like that's what they used to do back in the day.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, I guess.
I don't know what you're referring to, but that's nothing against your age. I just did not grow up in this country. So. Oh,
Anita, you get it, right? It felt like those commercials.
No, I've seen them. Yeah.
I like Take 5 gum too, you know, just...
They've really come a long way since that. They do not advertise like that anymore. But back in the day, it was like a guy meeting an alien, or he's in a pit full of metal balls, like floating on it, like... It's like what it feels to chew Take 5 gum. Like you're having an outer body experience. That's what it used to be like.
I do remember. Okay, I'm looking at the gum packaging for Take 5, and there's a lot of white space. You know, like.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Continue.
No. Let's talk about the beat. I fucking love the beat as well. There's so much.
It's good.
There's so much room. Like it's so atmospheric. Yeah. It's so minimal, yet it's so impactful. Everything, all of those little components, like the drum, the percussions, it's like slow to mid tempo, but like it's got a very nice texture to it. The bass is like just bouncy enough to fucking like kind of groove a little bit, and like then once the chorus hits, you got those like nice side chained electric pianos coming in the background, and you got those like ARP sounds that are like and it's just a good combination. It's just a well produced, very texture heavy combination, and I think that's what keeps this really interesting on like first two, second, third, fourth, fifth repeat listens, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, you got Yves and her performance with the vocals. Like I think yes, it's heavily distorted. Yes, it's heavily stylized.
I like it.
But like that's what this is about. I feel like that's all a part of the expression here, and like it opens up so much like stylistic depth, if you know what I mean, to like the way she's able to portray this kind of aesthetic. And it really works. It really works. And I do wonder what like a full, how long is this, like 2-minute 40-second version of just Yves would have sounded like. But I do think whatever Lolo brings to the table here is like really fantastic as well.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Her vocals were really good.
It really were. Like, was it like, did I want it there? I don't know. Like this, I feel like this could have been a song where just Yves does her thing the whole time. But whatever Lolo brought, dude, like, damn. She was solid. Just such a vibe, you know? Such a good vibe. And like, if someone...
It is a vibe.
It is. And like, if someone comes up to me and they say, hey, like, just feel like we got 2 minutes 40 of fucking style and no substance. Just 2 minutes 40 seconds. I'm happy with the style, no substance I got. Get it? Being this cool.
Substance though.
Yeah, like being this cool with 2 minutes, you try being this cool in this short amount of time.
I also want to say something.
Yeah.
I was actually very impressed with this track in the sense that hearing Soap, hearing White Cat, like other previous tracks that she had recently, I had been feeling that Yves had been kind of sounding a little repetitive in the styling of her music, you know? Like I feel like I could see where she was going with it, like, but this feels like so refreshing in a way because it feels like super dark and I don't know, very, very cool. And to me, this is a very successful, like, slight turn in concept while still maintaining that very, like, indie alt sound that she started out with.
Yeah.
I feel like it's great. I really like that she did it like this.
It's worth noting that, like, she's clearly moving away from some of her early pop heavy stuff, whether that's Loop or Soap. Like it's very different. It's I remember when Loop dropped, something Doug mentioned that stuck with me was, how is Yves going to compete with the Chunghas and the Sunmis? You know what I mean? Like
soloists,
the female solo pop stars of this era. But
they answered that question very well in the last year, you know?
Yeah, it's become very clear that she's not. And I think this is probably a step further in that direction. So now our question becomes, okay, clearly she's not interested in doing your traditional dance pop, K-pop, you know, fucking trap, drum and bass, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, how good is she at executing this sound? You know, now we have to gauge her up against the likes of J Clef, the likes of fucking Bombing Tiger. I don't know. Like, when I first heard the beat, I was like, oh, this sounds like something I would have heard, you know, Sogum of Bombing Tiger go off on. You know what I mean? Like, sounds very neo, sounds very alternative. And that aspect, I don't know. I guess it stacks up. You know what I mean? Like,
you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? Something about this song just pokes the brain in the right ways, and you go, something's going on here. Like that's a really big compliment for me, because like, this is not my type of track, but I'm into this, whatever this is. I had a good time watching it, had a good time listening to it. I feel like it made sense to me too, because it, like, at a minimum, I felt like the vocal distortion, whatever, it made sense to me on this track. Like, I was like, oh, I get why we're doing this. It felt like, to me, sometimes on some tracks that are like not in my wheelhouse, I feel like we're just I'm not gonna point any fingers or any specific songs, but I feel like sometimes we do effects or we do things, and it just, to me, it comes off like we're doing it for an effect. Like we're just doing it to be weird. But like when it makes sense to me, I feel like I connect better. And like in this song, a lot of decisions that were made make a lot of sense, and I go, okay, could see why you would do that there, you know. And I feel that's way more palatable if I make that kind of connection.
It's convincing.
It's a lot more convincing to me when I'm just like, okay, I could see why you would do that. Because if we did have just plain vocals, it wouldn't make any sense here, you know?
Right.
Hey, I hope this is sustainable. She's on a middle of a Europe and America's tour, so hopefully she makes a lot of money here. Because like I don't think this is the type of the music that's just gonna sell a shit ton of albums. So she's reliant on doing tours and stuff like that for sure, which she has been doing a lot of in the past 2 years. So I hope that's sustainable. That's all I'm saying, you know, because it would make a lot of sense if it was.
That is what I'm like trying to figure out with this current system, right? Like, okay, let's talk about packs per mil. I don't know where packs per mil gets their money from.
Exactly.
Like, their current artist lineup is Iowa, Blah, and Yves. Milik has left. Han has left. Zero Channel has left, who now goes by the name of EO. Not sure what he's up to. So like his like former Club Eskimo Dean friend group has kind of left. I don't know who Blah is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing. With this current lineup, we're like pretty much like, okay, it's crazy to me because Milik was like the front face. He was the CEO. He was the lead producer. He was the guy who founded the company, and now he's not here anymore. And all you got is Iowa. And like, don't get me wrong, like Iowa, we've seen his name in the Korean rap scene for like the past like half a decade or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he's been collabing pretty heavily with like the folks like Swings, Kid Millie, the Club Eskimo folks. Like I think he's a great producer. I think he's great, but like at the same time, is like Yves your only source of income? And if so, I'm very well aware that while Yves has the aesthetic of an independent artist, she is not an independent artist, and I have no idea how big this company actually is. How much mouths they gotta feed, and how much, you know, like funds they gotta return, and that sort of thing. So I'm glad she's on tour. Tours are a source of income. I'm also glad that she is reaching new audiences with the likes of Soap, or I remember Dim was really popular on TikTok for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, in order to keep this K-pop thing going, you gotta make money, and I don't have an answer.
Feels like we're constantly touring is the answer right now. And to be fair, I'm on Ticketmaster. She sold like 95% of these seats at the Palladium Times Square, which is like a 2,000 seater.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. She sold like 95% of the tickets.
That's good.
Good.
Maybe it is sustainable that way, you know?
Maybe it is. If it is, I mean, I don't think anybody's complaining, because like I think, you know, the more kind of aesthetics we're able to support in K-pop, I think the more interesting it gets. And this definitely.
And another thing I want to say is, going back to Warren's, my question back then was like, how is she going to compete with other dancey pop girls, right?
The dancey pop girls.
as a subgenre of the K-pop, your soloist, former idol, dancey pop people, that has hit an apocalypse. That's an apocalypse right now, right?
It's rough out
who's
there.
Who's like, it's like indie and no one else, and like her barely.
It's supposed to be like in an ideal world where it's doing well, like there's money and it's doing well.
Yeah.
It should be like a Chungha, Eunbi, Chaeyeon, Dayoung situation thing going on, right? Those type of kids. But in reality, it's only Dayoung right now. The rest of them are not doing too hot
And I
right
think,
now.
yeah, like Dayoung being the dark horse of that aesthetic.
Yeah. She's the new kid on the block in that too. The existing.
Yeah, that's recent too. Yeah.
Like all of Yves' contemporaries and other people that you would think in that kind of sphere back when they were making songs like that, they're like, it's not going well. So at least Yves has pivoted out of there, and it seems like it's going pretty well here.
I do think like maybe I don't know. Like, I don't want to say something is the right choice over, like, for, several different. Okay, between the different aesthetics, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. But, like, knowing how Chu is also on a pretty healthy trajectory, like.
Yeah.
And her being, like, a very similar kind of vibe here at the moment.
Hey, it's the orbit pull, I think, is a little bit of that equation. I also think that there's a broader market that's, at least in Yves' case, there's people outside of just listening to K-pop music who are into her music, and I think that's been a smart decision. For sure. All right.
One more question.
Oh.
Yes. We've seen Yves collab with Lil Cherry. We've seen her with Pink Pantheress. We've seen her with Lolo. Who do you want to see collab with Yves? Like, just like she seems like a very collab friendly artist. You know what I mean? Like, who do you want to see?
I know I haven't heard the track yet, but I know that from this album she also collabed with Lexi Liu.
Ooh.
Which is another, like, I feel like they're very similar in, like, vibe and aesthetic. But other than that,
you know who she should collab with next? It would make sense at some point if she collabed with the girl who's on Show Me the Money, Millie. Would make sense. It would make complete sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right now.
That shit would make complete sense. Type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It would make complete sense if that happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good cut from me, right?
Yeah.
Like, that made sense.
That's actually, I'm proud of you for being able to mention Millie.
Right? I was like, I haven't been watching the show, but I do sometimes at night look at the performances and I go, okay, I see what people are doing, because some of the pop culture in Korea is driven by that show still. I heard Natty made an appearance and everyone was like, wow, Natty's great, You're
somehow able to, like, stay up to date with, like, weird parts of pop culture where I'm like we spent, like, for our listeners at home, we spent like 10 minutes earlier before we started recording where I was explaining the Swings Big Naughty Beef to Doug for
because I dip my fingers in everything. I have a good decent finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Somehow was like, why are these guys beefing? I'm like, oh no.
That was an explanation that I did not get any more educated by listening to. I did not feel smarter after listening to that. I just know one man got flushed down a toilet. That was the conclusion. That was literally my final thoughts on that beef. Someone got flushed down the toilet. And you could tell by, if you go look at the comment sections of any of their videos, one of them got flushed. But all right, let's pivot. We got our boys Cortis with REDRED. They are from Big Hit. Last 3 songs, Fashion, What You Want, Go. So they're calling this REDRED a lead single, right? But then when I look on Namo Wiki for the thing that's coming, well, like the album that's coming out, Green Green, which comes out next week on May 4th, on the Namo Wiki it says REDRED is the title track of Green Green.
Huh.
Shit.
Okay. Title track?
So from what I'm getting from just the publicly available information on Namo Wiki, which is Korean Wikipedia, it's telling me that REDRED is the title track for the album coming out next week, Green Green, and I do not know if they will have another music video. But at a minimum, I guess we treat REDRED for now as the main thing from this comeback cycle.
Dude, Jungkook better have a music video. I fucking swear. Okay, I'm reading the press release. The first line of the press release for REDRED says that REDRED is a title track for the second mini album. So, and it also explains the whole song in the next line of the press release. Whatever you like is green. Whatever you want to avoid is red. Hey, how creative is that? Is that what they wrote?
Is it really simple as that? What this track is about?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I was looking for some meaning in this.
It's a fucking
red.
Further.
Traffic light, dog.
Green. Oh shit! Okay.
Go.
Okay, here's my initial thoughts, right? I wouldn't say similar to Eve, but this was another track where number one, I thought the beat was good on this track. I like the beat.
Okay.
What I will say about this track in terms of the way the vocals are presented. So I watch a show every week, a Korean variety show called Amazing Saturday, also called Nolto. And one of the points of that show, the original basis of that show is we're going to try to dictate hard to hear lyrics. Right? That was the basis of this show.
Yeah.
I felt that the entire run length of this song, I was on Naruto and I was trying to figure out what the F these kids were saying.
You were working.
I was like, I have no clue what these kids are saying at certain points of this track. And I think, I mean, it felt like to me at certain, like, I would maybe throughout the background sounds were way louder than the vocals, and I was probably, it's obviously a creative decision to do that, but I don't know. I thought the vibes were good, but some of the decisions I thought were a bit questionable with this one.
Interesting.
Doug likes the beat. Did you like the beat, Anita?
Oh, okay. I was gonna get there because everything else, so like lyrics wise, music video, like the vibes, I thought like, yeah, this is fun. It's not like super serious. I feel like it wasn't also like as intense as some of the like fashion. It's not that. It feels like it's very chill. Almost, it's a bit goofy, you know. Like if you read some of the lyrics, if you watch the music video, and I feel like that makes sense. Like I feel like you're not trying to be very serious all the time. What left me a little confused was the beat, because it feels very, and I mean, I have a hard time placing it, but to me, just off of the sound, it felt like almost like early 90s, late 80s synthy type of thing, that I would not have paired with like rap, you know, like a hip hop vibe. So I had just had a hard time like understanding how it was meant to like go well together. Maybe it is adding to like that unserious vibe, which I can see. I feel like that I could see that, but it made me very confused at certain points. That beat.
Here's my take on it, and like genres are, I think, up for interpretation to whoever. So if you disagree, that's cool. Just let me know how you feel, man. But my take on it was that this is sort of an extension of their take on the their take on the digicore trend that's been popping off with their stuff in the past like year or so. Digicore as a whole, along with the rest of hyperpop, has been popular for a while. It's just not been picked up in K-pop. A core part of that sound, I think, is like a very fast-paced, hyper-sounding house sound. This one goes the other direction. I feel like it slows down a little bit, and then I think the BPM range is probably like somewhere in the 110s. I think I haven't measured it. Don't get angry at me if you haven't seen it, but I'm hearing a little bit of garage in there. Maybe that's where you're getting the 80s, 90s influences. We're still like pulling from trap music with the way the vocals are stylized.
Yeah.
But like overall,
and that I don't mind that. Yeah, I thought that was fine.
Yeah, like there are clearly moments where it gets less electropop heavy and more closer towards trap music, especially in those bridges. And I thought that was fun. It's clearly something Cortis has proven that they're good at. But I don't know. I don't know if this works. Like, you know what I mean? Like I appreciate that they're like thinking outside the box a little bit and like trying to do stuff that's maybe a little less standard. And I'm sure if you look around, there's like trap music or electropop music or like trap music that is like somewhat within this BPM with like somewhat a house inspired drum set, and like I'm sure that exists. It's just it's definitely not like cliched maybe as Go was or fashion was. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate that. But on the other hand, from a pure just this song level perspective, it doesn't catch on immediately to me. Like it's not super catchy. I get the nonchalant. I get the fun. I pull up with my friends, get them on the truck. I pull up. Like that sounds great. I have fun there. But like I don't know. Like you listen. I listened to the song a whole bunch of times today, and like there's not much that that stuck with me. And personally, having been a fan of this aesthetic for a while now, I don't know, probably not the most positive signal there. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything to like learn, Doug, if that's what you're looking like. If expecting,
I thought it was fun. I mean, it says at the end, directed by idiots and Cortis. You know, like
No, yeah. I like the vibe.
I feel like the youngins will like this one. You know, green, red. You know, I can see it. You know, it felt like okay. I'm gonna make a statement here. It feels like so. There's this drama that came out, Sky Castle. I'm sure many people have watched that, right?
Yeah.
And the Sky Castle is essentially a drama that makes statements about the pressures of education on children in Korea, right? That's essentially the overarching topic of that drama.
Yes.
And then there's one of the younger sister of one of the main characters. She goes to this hagwon like every day. She goes to after school tutoring like a gajillion hours every day. And then at one point, one of the parents of that show catches the kids in their break, like having a party essentially. You know,
okay.
They went to the peony job. They just making them ruckus, right? This is the kind of song that just
okay.
What I'm saying is that this song kind of just feels like to me like young kids just making a ruckus. You know, that's what it feels like. And you can take it for what it is. And I honestly think it might work for people, you know, because people like just like to be silly and have a good time, especially youngins in Korea. I feel like can, like, you know,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I feel like the strongest thing about this release and of the Cortis branding has been that they've been trying very hard. And I think they're successful to have this vibe of like we're very normal, we're very like kind of like not leaning into like the idol, the star type of you know, like image. So I feel like this makes sense to me, and it reinforces that for them as like as their branding. It's just that for me, in the sound wise, like if this feels a little, maybe a little too outside the box for me. I don't know. If it's the beat for me. Like if the beat was different, maybe I wouldn't feel that way. But it's interesting. I guess we're talking about it, so it's interesting, and I guess that's good.
Hey,
but
there are over 2 million reasons why people like this song. That's the amount of pre-sales this has.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
So, you know, like that's a lot of reason why this shit working, you know?
I here's the thing though, like I am like Martin and I are about 11 years apart in age. So
I was gonna say like yeah, go ahead.
I'm not gonna look at Martin and go, hey, yeah, I relate to this Martin guy. Like I'm not yeah, James, I relate to. That's not gonna happen. But in the ocean of boy groups that we tend to cover on the show, these guys feel the most human. They feel the most real.
On purpose. Yeah.
Like I think that's what you're kind of referring to as well. Like okay, like one of the songs that were previewed ahead of the CP, and I keep referring to this is Young
You
Creator
really like
Crew.
that song.
Young Creator Crew, which was also known as Young Cuckoo. And Doug has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about because he's not on TikTok. It is the most bullshit sounding degenerate track I've heard in K-pop in a very long time. But it's exactly what I expect 15, 16, 17-year-olds with FL Studio to be making. Like, let's be honest. Like, yes, they're probably listening to fucking GGM Kimbo and like Jane Remover over. Yeah, of course they're making bullshit music like this. Of course they're yodeling in the middle of the chorus. and I feel like a lot of this points towards whether that's Cortis themselves or whether it's Hype, there's clearly an effort to make these guys feel a lot more human, a lot less idly, a lot more relatable without having to rely on like media and like streams and that sort of thing.
Bro,
so like,
this song's so much better than whatever this is. This
no, people hate that song.
Young is so much better, dude. It's like Cortis gnarly, but it's better. You know, that's essentially what it is.
on the flip side of things, I'm also aware that like Cortis is creating a lot of. They're a huge point of discussion in the larger music industry at the moment. On the topic of Jane Remover, I think it was Martin or James, I forget who was openly like, I'm influenced by Jane Remover music. Jane Remover being one of the more popular and critically acclaimed digicore artists of this current generation. And she goes on her Instagram and she's like, they need to quit making those Cortis kids rapping. Just fucking get the fuck out of here.
That.
Yeah. If I was Martin, I'd be like, damn, that hurts.
Yeah, not a great.
I don't know if they need to quit rapping. This feels like a very aggressive comment. But the case for Jane is probably that she has not heard EXO rap. She's probably not heard the shiny Minho bling bling rap over here. That's probably why.
Hey.
Yeah, no offense to Chaegung Changmin and those guys, but you know what I mean. Hey, I recognize that while this song I don't think is the most perfectly fit to be a great song, yada yada yada, oh 10 out of 10, you know, I'm not gonna do that, but like I recognize that this feels like 17-year-olds with access to a cracked version of Pirated FL Studio on their cracked Windows laptop making beats on their like
I pirated Fruity Loops back in the day. I did it. I was among those kids, you know.
Same. So hey. I don't anymore. I actually have a paid version, so you could.
I still pirate everything. Just saying.
No, you don't, Doug. No, you
I know.
If you get demonetized, but that's on you, Doug.
Y'all need Weekend 2? I got it, dude. Y'all.
No.
Hey, honestly, in my opinion, so I just listened through this Young Creator Crew snippets. I heard the yodeling, guys. I understand what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I rather them go full crazy. Like, you know the thing is, I'm the one who's saying that I don't know if this is double standard. I'm the one saying that Cat's Eye needs to chill, right? Where I'm here saying that these kids need to go crazy. You know what? I think there's space for both of these groups to go crazy. I'm changing my opinion on groups doing experimental or just like provocative stuff these days. I honestly at a point now where I'm just like, if it sells, I'm okay with it. I don't care. You know what?
Okay.
I mean, I've always been the one that says at the end of the day, this shit's a business, right? We releasing
it
music,
is a job,
consuming
correct?
it, making sales, they being successful. I feel like this Red track. Here's the problem. My overall feeling of it was like, okay, you know, green, red, fun. But I'm like, I don't know. There's a certain point where I feel like, okay, they're being relatable. They're at a shitty Gogi Jeep. I get that. They're at a underground arcade. I get that. When I was in Korea and I was in my early 20s, I was in shitty arcades and shitty Gogi Jeeps and stuff like that. You know, it was fun. But at the end of the day, I always have to remind myself, like, these kids are at Big Hit. They have, like, unlimited funds to do whatever they want.
That is true.
You know, I always think that's the one thing that sometimes I'm like, you guys literally are at the richest company. You can do whatever you want. Like, I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. Like, once you, like, see it from that perspective, I'm going to go back to the press release where the first line is, Cortis announces Red. Everything they aspire to be is green. Everything they avoid is red. Creative expression, you know, like clearly someone in the marketing department was very concerned about, you know, like whether the meaning of the song is gonna, you know, get across or not. Like compared to, I don't know, like, and I keep going back to Young Creator Crew, Young Cuckoo, because that feels like one song where like the high marketing team was a little too hands off the wheel from their perspective. And even this feels, you know, I recognize that, you know, this is there's a degree of posturing going on here rather than them literally being 18-year-olds, you know, FL Studio based, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, there's a certain level of it because it always reminds me of like, I kind of wish they were like, I like obviously being at big hits a blessing, and it's like the greatest blessing you could have is any of these artists because your chance of success is great, right? I kind of wish it felt more grassroots though, because it could be like, hey, James got his laptop back from his mom. We could finally release the song, you know? I felt like that would feel so much more endearing. It's sort of like, it kind of reminds me of back when like, okay, I'm gonna say something else. Back in the day when it was like Tyler the Creator first started getting big, I was into it back then. And like Earl Sweatshirt got sent to Samoa.
A free Earl.
I was like, what happened to Earl? You know, I was like, it was a big deal. Like, yeah, back then, it felt very grassroots. You know what I mean? Like, it was like Earl got sent to boarding school. What the F, you know? Like, I don't know. It was just something very endearing about that even back then.
James's Taiwanese parents takes his laptop away. Free James's laptop.
Like, and then, like if those were that kind of kids, and then they released music like this, I'd be like, ah, shit, I get it, you know, and it's funny and it makes sense.
Here's the thing, though. The reality of it is they're under they're under big hit music.
Yeah,
they are the little brothers of BTS and TXT, and the way this works is Hybe is very well aware of the. You know, they're not gonna let go of the benefits of releasing on the Hybe label's YouTube channel, for example. You know what I mean? Like, that is just not something that I know Hybe is gonna do. If they had like really committed to that marketing bit, like they would have gone and made like Cortis label and like, you know what I mean? Like,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, doesn't need to be a full like legal entity. Just hide it from us. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, that just took me for a bit. Like when I was 18 and Earl Sweatshirt disappeared, I was like, oh my God, Earl! And then they took away Bobby Shmurda. You know, I remember thinking these things back then. Now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, he like was he was deep in these gangs and stuff, and you know, I was like, oh shit. But like back when I was growing up, and it felt more like that's our guy, you know. It was fun back then, you know, and I wasn't aware of so much. But hey, Cortis at a minimum, they're selling 2 million albums. So whether you like what they're doing or they're not, it's selling. At a minimum, I thought this Red track had some fun elements to it. I think all of us did. And I hope I agree with Warren's take that I want a music video for that other track. What is it called again?
Teppanyaki on my neck.
If they don't, it's a bit of a shame, honestly. Hopefully next week they'll release a music video for that and we could talk about it. That would be very engaging.
Interesting.
On a side note, the Korean Olympic medalist for snowboarding, Gaon Chegaon.
Yes.
She's like famously like does not smile in any of her photos, like any of the videos.
Right.
Except for when she sees Cortis.
She did dance challenges with them. I saw those. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
It's like the only moment where she's not like excessively shy. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at her go. And she's like, what? Like she's like 18, 17. So I think that says something about.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the demo for this group. She's in the demo. Makes sense.
Of course.
All right. Other songs released this week is Hitchis with Cherry Blossom, Wien with the Symphony of Fuck Boys.
Wow.
Okay.
Literally the name of her track. We have Taeyong with Rock Solid featuring Anderson .Paak. We have Extraordinary Heroes Voyager, NCT Wish Ode to Love, Donghae with The Sun Has Risen, and even with Back Talk. Those are the other tracks released. We got SojuScore, the segment where each week the crew, Gochu Gang, and SojuTalk Nation score the new releases. Average songs receive a 5. Songs that get over a 7.3 will enter the Hall of Spice. Last week on episode 366, Dayoung, What's a Girl to Do, got a 6.51. Recene Runaway got a 6.97. Cat's Eye Pinky Up got a 4.55. TXT Stick With You got a 5.65. I would also like to announce that I fully understand the Recene Garu trend that's going on. I completely understand all of that now. Y'all can look it up if you want. It's trending to an extent. The songs we're going to score this week, Ifeye, Hazy, we have Yves with Nail, and we have Cortis with Red. Let me get the thing on the screen. Our first song we have is Ifeye, Hazy, Daisy. All right. I made a promise with myself in 2026 to be more honest about my scoring and how I actually feel about these songs using the rubric we have presented. Saying all of those words, I have settled. I think the song's fine, but I think it's just fine. I settled on a 5.
Yeah. I think I kind of said that my keyword was middle, right? And middle is 5, so I also gave it a 5.
Oh no, I still think that this is the track where like if it comes on, I'll still dance to it. I don't know if I'll shake my butt to it, you know what I mean? But like I thought it was okay.
Move your shoulders a bit.
Yeah, you know, maybe bop my head just a teeny bit, you know. 5. I have a 6. I have a good.
Okay.
Hey, SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang voted. They gave it a 5.79. Shout out to the person that gave this a 0. Someone gave this a 0, which means that they think it is in our chart not music, but my other way of saying a 0 is a candidate for top 5 worst K-pop songs of all time. That's what the 0 means on this podcast.
Okay.
So someone honestly thinks that. And I wondered if there was a misclick, but no, they had scores for the songs all around this song too. So shout out to that person. But as a result, Ifeye is going to receive a 5.45. That is the score they are getting. The next track, we have Yves with Nail. I think y'all are going to be surprised by my score.
Okay.
It's a 7.
Ooh.
I would recommend people. I think that's the highest score I've given even a hot second. I would highly recommend people check out this one. It might not be your cup of tea, but you might find something new that you enjoy as well. That's what I will end with.
I second that. I also gave it a 7. I also recommend that you watch the music video because the music video is actually really cool and creepy. But yeah.
Oh man. I gotta do it. I can't not do it. I have to. I gave.
Is it an 8?
I gave Soap an 8, and I gave White Cat an 8 as well. I don't know if I give it an 8 if I go back in time. However, with this one, I feel more confident that it's an 8, so I have an 8.
Oh no! All right. Nation and Gochu Gang, this needs to be high. This needs to be over a 7, I think. And it is the Nation and Gochu Gang also voted. They gave this track 6.93.
Nice.
Yeah, and as a result, it receives 7.23.
Oh no!
Hey Warren, is this a year-defining song? You could have gave it a 9.
Dude, it feels like Yves kind of bottled it at the last moment.
Like your certain team you like? The Gunning team?
We don't talk about us now.
Something. There were a couple votes that came in at the end that dropped this below a 7, by the way. In the last hour or so. I think before it was at like a 7.06 or something was what I remember seeing it at.
No, it's
not enough. It was not enough. It was barely.
Hey, 7.23 still a great achievement, just like getting second place in EPL.
That's a really good score.
Yeah.
Finally, we have Cortis with REDRED. I guess I might be more positive. I gave this a good. I thought it was fun for what we got. I might not have understood anything that came out of their mouths. It was a good time.
You felt the vibe though, and
I felt very young and vibing listening to this track. You know, even though I'm old and decrepit. You know,
you're not.
I'm looking at Social Security already, dude. That's how old I am. It's over. It's over.
I also gave it a 6. I mean it's still good. I like that it's something interesting, you know, and it's fun and it makes sense. So it's a 6.
Man, I have no matching scores with you guys today. Strangely enough, I feel like if you're gonna go for an aesthetic like this that's strong and sticks out, on one hand, I want this to feel, I want this to feel even more real. Things I like is green and stuff I don't like is red. Come on, I don't know, man. That's
yeah, you're right about that.
It's what is this, Dora the Explorer over here?
Yeah, he's a map. He's a map. Swiper, no swiping.
Fucking, what do you think I should do next? Tell me the color.
It's green.
the production isn't my favorite. I don't think this. I mean, I think the members still do a good job of the rap, and it's all interesting there. But I don't think it creatively came together. Is my takeaway. I have a 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Nation and Gochu Gang also voted. They gave this one 5.8, which kind of is where we are as well. As a result, 5.70. So the scores this week: Ifeye, Hazy with a 5.45. We have Yves with Nail just missing out on the Hollow Spice with a 7.23. And we have Cortis Red with a 5.70. That Yves one might be up for if we do another quarterly review, like pushing things up. It might be in the discussion, I would say.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Finally, we're at show winners. Anita, there's a decent variety this week. Hit us with them.
There's a couple here. First off, of course, you have BTS, Swim, one on Show Music Core and Inkigayo, so a total of 15 wins.
God damn.
God damn.
Congrats again. Next, we have Kickflip with Eye Poppin'. They won on Show Champion in Music Bank, and in Music Bank, it was their first win ever. So
Let's
2 wins so
go.
far. Good for them. And then last, we have Kiss of Life with Who Is She? Also, first win for this comeback on M Countdown.
Hey, Kickflip getting their first ones ever. Great deal for them. Kiss of Life doing well. Also fun. BTS, expected, but
Of
great.
course, yes.
Of course. 15 wins is that's just a massive amount. Hey, that ends part 1. SojuTalk episode 368. We'll be back after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 368. Guys, with some news and events from the past week. We do have a small amount of news, but some of them are pretty big hitting. The first one, very interesting. Hybe, JYP, SM, and YG are teaming up for a, quote, Korean Coachella.
Ooh.
So, the 4 agencies are planning a joint venture to launch a large-scale festival, tentatively titled Phenomenon, title of, adding fan and phenomenon together, so Phenomenon. They have plans to host the first one in December 2027 in Korea, and then going forward into 2028, they want to take it international and tour with it.
Wow.
JYP, the man himself, is he's the lead guy on this. He's going to develop it with the support of the Korean Government Cultural Committee. Their goal is to create a massive Coachella-style event featuring artists from all 4 companies.
Wow.
Yo.
Okay.
So we got the 4 biggest companies plus the government are going to do this.
Yeah, government's involved. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see.
Does this not mean that KCON has an expiration date? Does it not feel like that, right? Like,
it feels like they didn't get invited to the party. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I also feel like Starship's watching this like, hey, we have Ive though. Like, come on, guys.
No.
There'll probably be
that's a
guests
question.
and other things too, I would assume.
Yeah, maybe
but,
in later iterations, more
hey,
companies.
if this works out, this would be pretty cool, right? This would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If they could do it.
It'd be
And
huge.
the best. This is probably our best way of getting another KCON New York is if they get ambitious in the first year and do it in the East Coast and the West Coast. This is probably our best opportunity to get this in the New York area. True, like straight up. If they get really ambitious in 2028 with this,
might take a couple of years, but we'll see.
I'm pretty excited about this if it does happen.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty awesome event to go to, I think. So you get to see JYP. He'd be doing keynote speeches and stuff.
Oh,
He's
dude.
it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prayers with JYP himself.
Next one. So, Okay, Cat's Eye announced their new EP Wild, right? People are like, yeah, Manon's not in this because you could purchase solo versions for Daniela, Laura, Yuche, Megan, or Sophia, but not Manon. She's not an option.
Oh.
The crazy thing is they are pre-selling albums for a EP that's not coming out till August 14th. We are already pre-selling.
Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah.
That's early. Okay.
I don't know, guys. This seems like so yeah, you could they are talking about the upcoming album Wild coming out August 14th. You could start pre-ordering it now. Speaking of Manon, right? Coachella weekend 2 happened. Manon was on the Pink Panther stage, guys. She was one of the people in the back. That's Manon. There. Pretty much confirmed. People also saw Mark was at Coachella. You know,
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. T is what I'll call this section, you know?
I'm glad Manon's healthy, you know?
Everyone's like, she's clearly good, you know? She's chilling at Coachella.
Yeah.
But, hey, I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point, guys. It's a weird situation. Next big thing, Paramount and Hybe are partnering for a film titled K-Pop Superstar, the Movie. Cat's Eye is going to make an appearance, so that's my connection to Cat's Eye there. But it says, apparently, Yoon Ji-young, who is the voice actress for K-pop Demon Hunters Mira, I believe, and Eric Nam are going to be like some of the main people involved in this. Filming will begin in Korea this fall, and it is going to be premiered in February 2027. So, basically, Hybe saw K-pop Demon Hunters, and they're like, we want one of those. That's what's going on here. Directed by Benson Lee, the project will become the first Hollywood film shot entirely in Korean. That's what they're saying.
I mean, why does this
live
need to
action
be filmed in Korea? Just film it.
I don't know, dude, but Hybe America plus Paramount Pictures, they're gonna make a competitor to K-pop Demon Hunters.
All right.
Okay,
I mean,
we'll see.
Not very convincing.
Number one, we'll have to see if it's animated, right?
Sure, yeah,
I'm
that's my
assuming it's
question.
going to be animated. Number two, if it's Hybe, there's 100% going to be a BTS appearance in this cameo for sure, 1000%.
I don't know. You don't wanna dilute the brand like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like you want to though. No.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of
know what to
comment is
expect.
not gonna make the armies pissed off on that. So I will refrain from commenting.
True, because they're like, we can't get our own movie. You know, I could see that argument. All right, I'm gonna kick any more hornets' nest. Let me continue on. Finally, though, okay, we got good. So there was reports, right? Because Bang PD is under investigation for the insider trading stuff, right?
Yeah.
There was a report that came out last week that they had to deny this week that Hybe asked the U.S. Embassy to intervene to send a letter to the Korean National Police Agency to try to get them to lift Bang's travel ban and other Hybe executives' travel ban because BTS is going to tour and they want to go along with them with the tour. So that was a report that came out, but Hybe denied that any of this happened.
Okay.
Okay.
That's wild, is it not?
Not a headline I thought we'd ever cover on the show. Like,
Yeah, so Hybe maintains they did not seek such diplomatic assistance from the U.S. Embassy and said that we are addressing the matter, which means they do want to get these travel bans lifted, but they are addressing it through legal and more traditional channels, not just getting the embassy to
Okay.
strong arm Korea into letting them travel.
Yeah. Who knows? But
That's wild, isn't that?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think the US embassy is going to help you there right now. Like, I don't think that's like anybody's.
I mean, if they help him out, then Bang's gonna have to go take a photo op with Trump or something, right? Shaking his hand or something. That's the next step of that, is it not? Right? He's like, I've always loved K-pop.
Wait, what?
Jimin has always been my bias.
Why
I
are
love
you-
that man. The
why
voice
are you
is
so good?
amazing. What?
Why are
Why
you
is my
so
Trump? Right, my Trump is not terrible, right? It's not terrible. But hey, like, if that happens, People are gonna lose their minds if they that photo
They're
op
saying
ever
they're
happened.
not doing that. So
Yeah, hopefully let's believe the $1 billion company that's never done anything shady before. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Hey, okay, let's continue. In terms of more scary news, though, I would say scary in the fact that this might be a trend. Idol canceled like almost the entirety. Well, they basically canceled the entirety of the North American leg of their world tour.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah. That's bad, right? Because I think of G Idol, or not. I call it G. I think of Idol, and I think that's like a top 10. I'm not gonna make a tier list, but that's one of the top girl groups, right? They tour decently.
Yeah.
They're pretty famous. They have hits, and they were not selling tickets. Is like people like Cube came out and made a statement, right? Cube said it's because the tour is being reorganized, not permanently scrapped. They're focusing on better future events, higher quality concerts, scheduling conflicts, comeback preparation. But the fans are like, no, it's because the tickets were so expensive and no one could buy the tickets.
Well,
because of this economy.
How much were the tickets?
I saw one quote in nosebleeds in a Canadian date was $200 for the worst seats in the house. In this economy, with the with the Strait of Hormuz, that whole situation,
Yeah,
it's
rough.
people aren't going to a lot of and everyone already like completely spent all their money on going to the World Cup or BTS like this summer, right? Oh, no one got any monies left, so
I mean,
I think it's gonna be rough for going forward. I think for the immediate future.
I mean, I don't know the exact numbers and details because I don't plan to fly to Korea any moment soon. But I know speaking of Hormuz, oil, kind of a rare asset at the moment. There is a Korean Air is like charging a fuel surcharge for tickets at the moment.
Oh.
And I heard they can go somewhere between like $100 to like $2,000 per ticket.
What? That's crazy.
So travel might be an issue. Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that might have something to do with it. Like it is more money to cancel some of these concerts. You got to put that into context too. So I don't know.
So at the time of the cancellation, like Atlanta had 53% sales rate. I think 53% availability of this. Like they only sold half the tickets there. And then in like San Antonio, over a third of the tickets were still for sale. Like it wasn't going too well, is what I'll say. And the reason why I brought this up because this might be a a canary in the coal mine for a lot of people not touring as much going forward. That's basically why I'm bringing this up because if a group as big as Idol is having problems doing a North American tour, but it might also be they book too big of venues, right? It could be on them too, for sure. But if they're not doing too well, then there might be a mass trend going forward of this, is what people are discussing.
I mean, I don't think that is like a K-pop specific trend at the moment.
Of course.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of non-K-pop people who were going on tour and then later on they were like, actually we're canceling our dates, I remember I can't think of a better example, but Meghan Trainor was getting flack online for canceling her concert tour schedule. So
yeah, it's a bunch of factors, obvious, but at the end of the day, if the economy is good, people are going to go to more of these entertainment events for sure. Yeah. That's like a given. Rough for them because tours is where groups rack up big monies, like easy big monies.
Yeah.
So we will have to see. Next, I got some AMA nominations. So Artist of the Year nominations. BTS is included in there. Oh. So the way the time window worked, the new album could be included into the nominee system. So that's why BTS is on this list.
Oh.
Go for them.
Okay.
They're along with Bad Bunny, Bruno Mars, Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, Kendrick Lamar, Lady Gaga, Morgan Wallen, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift. That's a who's who of the music industry, of course. That's a crazy list to be included with.
Who do we think is gonna win?
Bad Bunny.
I don't know.
Not Bad Bunny still? Are we not in Bad Bunny season
Bad Bunny
still?
had a good year.
Yeah. I think it comes down to either Bad Bunny, Kendrick, Sabrina.
Yeah. And BTS sold a gajillion sales too, so don't completely count them out. But
Yeah, they're in there. Too.
I'll be surprised if they win though. Next we got the best female K-pop artist nominees: aespa, Blackpink, Islet, LE SSERAFIM, and Twice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, because we gave all of our awards last year to Edmix. We might have given Edmix. We gave them every award basically during our show for the last year.
Clearly for a good cause, because they're not getting recognized by the AMAs over here. Like, what's going on?
I mean, I feel like these are like your answers, is it not? Right?
aespa and Blackpink.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Best K-pop male artist nominees: ATEEZ, BTS, and Hype and Stray Kids TXT. They're winning it, guys. Everyone else can stay. We could all stay home. We could save on the gas, the surcharge from Korea Air. We're good. We're unless we get invited to perform, because then they'll pay for it. But I think we're good, guys. Next thing, IOI. They did announce the third mini album, so it is literally happening, guys. It's a full-on announcement. I can't believe we're doing it. It's gonna be exciting for sure. We are covering them regardless because the people voting might not even know who these people are. But we are going to cover IOI when they release the title track. I guarantee you this, for sure. Next thing, Big Bang reportedly finished recording their new album. After the hype of Coachella. They're going to be releasing a new album. That should be pretty exciting. Yep. And they're also set to embark on a world tour this year. So Big Bang announced during week 2 of Coachella, or during its weekend 2, Coachella said that they will be launching a world tour in August to mark their 20th anniversary. G-Dragon stated, "It's going to be crazy, no doubt, so do not miss out. Details regarding the tour will eventually be announced." Okay. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's gonna be crazy.
A tour in this economy,
I know. Do they have enough pull in 2026?
I hope they don't cancel midway through. You know what I mean?
If you think about the core fandom of Big Bang, they're older people who should have jobs and should have more expendable income,
security.
right? Right? You would think. So that's why I think it might be okay. Lastly, I got a little bit of sad news. DKZ disbanded.
Oh.
And then Zoo has left Secret Number. So these are two sadder things to I remember DKZ. We covered a couple of them. Might have covered them.
Wish them their best.
That's all the news. Very short this week. In terms of releases next week, I got Team, VVS, Park Ji-hoon, Cortis. They might be another music video. We got Baby Monster, and then Warren mentioned to me that QWER is seemingly coming back, I believe, as well. That should be fun.
I only know that because I found out while I was preparing for the next section. Which should I pivot to?
Yeah, let's make a pivot to the activities after the show. Let's go.
Hi, Dr. Doug, are you here?
I'm here.
Dr. Anita, are you here as well?
Yes, present.
All right. For today, we are ready to do a fourth generation K-pop girl group annual health checkup. These groups have gathered today to make sure that they're healthy, that they're growing, their career trajectory is in a good place, and that they don't have cancer, and that they don't have broken limbs, that sort of thing. So, here's what we're gonna do. I say fourth generation K-pop, and I mean a certain thing. There is so much.
Explain, yeah.
Okay, let's start there. There's so much discourse and argument and like fucking debate online about fourth gen, fifth gen, fucking sixth gen.
Thanks.
My take is, for the sake of conversation, I pulled out 11 girl groups that I think would be interesting to talk about between the debut years of 2020 and 2024. So, ITZY is not going to be a part of the discussion today. It just did not feel like it makes sense. They debuted before COVID, kind of. Yeah.
They did.
It was before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019.
I am thinking about groups that debuted after COVID, and like up until the last couple of years. Like Hearts to Hearts, dude, they just debuted. No.
Can I make one statement about generations?
Sure.
By the way, for all of our listeners, if you look up what Koreans think are the generations on NamuWiki, they think we're still in 4th gen. They have a section called 4th gen, which is 2020 onwards. And then they have a spot for 5th gen, which they call 5th generation. The translation is theory. So they're theorizing as maybe it started, but it's not concrete. That's how Koreans think of this.
My honest answer is like we're like in 4.5th gen right now. Like no,
exactly.
But regardless of whatever you want to name it, I'm thinking about groups that were like uber popular like 3-4 years ago and still kind of are. But like, hey, we want to like make sure they're still growing. We want to make sure, even with Hearts to Hearts coming up and like all these groups, we want to make sure they're still doing all right. Like you know what I mean. So that's why we're here, Dr. Kim. Dr. Anita? Mm-hmm. Guys ready?
Yes.
Yep. Hey, this is our opinions. I'm sure people are going to get mad. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Just want to point out, this is not a tier list. You see where it says, this is not a tier list? Do you see that? This is not a tier list? Yeah.
It's not a tier list.
Because it's horizontal.
It's our honest thoughts about these groups.
All right. So I have 4 categories today. I have still growing, ? And then I have a healthy, green. Yeah, good stuff. Then I got a yellow warning sign, yeah. And then I have a red.
Oh, red.
So my question, I saw this chart for like 10 seconds before we started. Would you consider like still growing is not necessarily better than healthy, right?
Sure, I guess. Yeah, if you think about it that way.
Because, like, to me, healthy might be like this group has established themselves. They might be at what I would consider maybe their peak of the first run or something. That's a healthy group. Like, what I think of still growing, personally, I think like a group that's like, I don't know where to place because the trajectory is crazy right now. That's how I think of it. Am I wrong in my thought of that? Or
No.
Did you think of it a different way?
I thought of it a similar way. Like, still growing is the groups that I think like definitely have a higher peak remaining in their career.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
Healthy
let's go with
groups are like, maybe they've had like a really huge breakout song already, and that's okay because like that put them on a great career trajectory and they're still going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Warning is maybe that's already all happened, but like we're concerned about them. And we'll get to the I'm dead column when we get there. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I start off with a nomination of my health checkup? What I think is true.
Sure.
NMIX is still growing. Am I wrong in saying that?
No.
Does anyone else feel like that?
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I think
Right.
Blue Valentine was like maybe it could be their peak. Like let's be honest. Like it was huge.
Unsure.
Yeah.
Unsure of that though. You know, we don't have enough info to make that claim. I think.
But like
Yeah.
regardless, I feel like they are like way more than healthy. And like if anything, we saw with their recent collab with I forget her name.
Pablo
Vittar with Tick Tick. I think that proves how big this group currently still is, and we're still going. So I say we put them in blue. You know, still growing.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, at a minimum, Midsummer's Dream 2023, they sold like in the first week 1 million. Blue Valentine in 1 week sold 650K. They're doing well. I would say Blue Valentine is super critically acclaimed. I want to see them follow that up and see what happens.
What comes next?
Yeah.
I think that would be very indicative of like if we ever update this, I would be more comfortable moving them to one of the definitive colors at that point. You know.
I also do think like it's worth noting that like NMIX kind of popped off later in their careers compared to the other groups.
Oh yeah.
Like they debuted in like what, like 2022. That was when Le Seraphim, New Jeans debuted. Like it was before Triple S debuted. Like XG was 2022 as well. Like it took them a minute. And like I think the benefit of a slow start is that the downward trajectory is probably going to be like a lot more sustainable as well. And like let's be honest, downward trajectories happen. Like things go up, things go down. I think the slower start gave them room to stay healthy long term. And that's why I'm excited for their next comeback in like what? Like when is it happening? In like a month or so?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Something like that is what I heard. Yeah. Anita, any thoughts about mix?
I agree. No, I think the past year was very, very good for them. But I think to gauge whether it's healthy or still growing status, you need to find out what happens after that successful year. So,
true.
Yeah, I feel like we still need to have more data.
So NMIX, the title track "Heavy Serenade" will come out on May 11th, and there's going to be a pre-release on April 28th called Crescendo. So it's already starting there.
Oh wow. Okay, it's coming soon. All right. Anita, pick a group you want to talk about next. Look at this list here.
Okay.
Look at this beautiful list.
Let's go with a big name here.
There's some softballs in here. Yeah, there's some softballs in here.
Let's go with a big one though. aespa.
Ooh.
aespa. My initial thought.
Your initial diagnosis.
My initial diagnosis is healthy.
I agree.
Do you agree? Disagree?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's not to say like there's not room to grow, but I think they're coming up against the limitations of how many more people can become your fan. Do you know what I mean?
True. I think
there's a
it's
ceiling.
solid.
Yeah.
They're solid right now.
They're
at
the ceiling, honestly, in my opinion.
aespa is like one of the older groups on this list. They debuted in 2020. Their most sold album was My World in 2023. But their most popular song streaming wise is like Supernova. They are like, I'd say, along with another group on this list, I'd say they have the healthiest momentum at the moment, where like they have a very, 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 very solid core, and like they still have a very, very, very strong general public relevance. It's very difficult to grab both. And like even in this like album sale apocalypse where like everything's kind of come down a little bit, there's still like Dirty Work hit more than 1 million sales in the first week. And like people did not like Dirty Work. Remember that? So
yeah.
I think if anything, they have the healthiest amount of trajectory here. Although it is also worth noting that aespa is probably the group that gets one of the biggest funds. They get a lot of they probably spend a lot of money on this group. Like
that took you like 20 seconds to say.
Yeah, I know.
Money on this group.
I've been doing this podcast
But I mean, it makes
for
sense.
5 years.
I think, they invested on the group, and
it's fine to say they're probably at the peak of this group as high as it'll go, barring something interesting happening.
Yeah,
I don't think that's I'm an aespa fan, and honestly, I feel that's the honest truth. You know, like this is the top.
I think it's difficult to be bigger than a track like Supernova when it's like 317 perfect all kills. Like at that point, it's very understandable. They're like,
does it get bigger than winning Artist of the Year Day songs? It probably doesn't. You know, like that's the peak. That's the top, guys. Literally the top. They've ascended Mount Everest of K-pop, and they're doing fine. They're still up there. It's fine.
Cool. I'm gonna move on. We have NMIX for still growing. We have aespa for healthy. I feel like we gotta put something in the yellow. The warning column.
Oh, who do you think is there?
I'm gonna put
easy.
I'm gonna put Le Sserafim in the yellow warning column.
Okay, that's controversial.
I know it is. That's
express why you would put them there.
What are your concerns?
Okay, I'm looking at their sales trajectory, and I know the sales don't speak on everything, but Unforgiven was their highest sale count, which was at up 1.2 million sales. Spaghetti was down to 464,000 to be exact, which is not low at all. Don't get me wrong, but it is a bit of a drop off. And I'm also aware that Spaghetti is a single instead of an album, but you know, it is a little bit of a drop off from what I would expect. I also feel like, and again,
you mean 465,000 for the first week? You have to
for the first album sales, first week album sales, yes.
Yeah.
And this is more of a vibe check, if anything. But the amount of like relevance that LE SSERAFIM had with the general public in the Western sphere and like the Korean sphere of it all, like yes, people still know that Chaewon is the girl that you can't compete with and all that. Like the memes are still there, but the vibes aren't like, you know what I mean?
Not as in the forefront as before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something honest?
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't like Easy, Crazy, Hot, the trilogy thing, bro. Like, I don't know. It's my honest opinion.
I think maybe you're being honest. I've been very vocal about how those 3 songs have been more of a letdown.
They had their moments.
They had their moments. Like I was a big fan of the earlier stuff in their career. Like Perfect Night was great, and it really was a very
Perfect
big
Night
general public hit. But I don't know.
Perfect Night, the one of the most successful promotional tracks of all time.
Yeah, but like if I think about the recent catalog that's coming out of LE SSERAFIM, I'm just not that excited. You know, like.
Well, I wouldn't. Okay. I want people to understand that warning doesn't mean we think this group is going away. We just want to see what's. It's a better way to put it is I guess what I'm trying to say, we're unsure about where they stand right now, and we're going to have to see what Celebration, which is coming out relatively soon as well, because I've been seeing some teaser stuff from that, so it'll be very telling, I think. But I see your point about warning there. I wouldn't say it's like an emergency. But it's like I want to see what's going on here.
Oh God, no! I'm not saying it's an emergency. Like, yeah, they're still gonna like do really well in the profit side of things, but you know, should he move on to the next artist? Next.
Right, let me take these softballs out of here, because before you guys steal them from me, Yves is the most healthy female girl group in K-pop. Am I wrong, guys? They're the most healthy group in here with that spot.
Oh, but not growing though. Not growing.
Anita, how much more can we get? Oh, that's my honest. Here's the thing: they have although they have a lot of fans in the West, they have a very Korean, Asian-centric thing going on right now, for sure, right? And it's doing fine. You know, they're selling a gajillion albums. They're selling out shows all over the place. It's going great. Every time they release something, you know, the sales went down since the sales peaked in like 2023, but everyone's peaked then. But they're still consistently selling over 1 million albums. You know, it's great. It's great out there, guys. It's doing fine.
I think the reason, if I go back to like where I started this segment from, I wanted to compare like 4 or 5 groups. Those being like aespa, Yves, New Jeans, and like maybe a couple more on top of that. I think between all of those groups, like I would say Yves has the most healthiest career at the moment. They have a very great sale section. I guess they have great sales with the concert tours. Like album sales are great. The chart situation is great. Their music is very generally accessible. Someone called them the girls' generation of this era, and you know what? I was like, that's kind of correct.
It was me.
Yeah. I love aespa. I love aespa, but like I often don't think their music is for everybody. And I think as a pop star, being able to release music that is for everybody consistently is kind of something, you know? And while I might not have been the biggest fan of like stuff like Bang Bang, for example, like I recognize that it catches on with like a very wide audience, and you know, again, that's a feat in itself.
I think you summarized what a lot of us are thinking very well, Lauren. Really.
Okay.
What else is there to say? They're doing great. They have an extremely strong variety presence. Individually speaking, Wonyoung and Yujin are like some of the biggest entities in Korea right now, right? Like they're household names. Everyone knows who they are. The West accepts them as a almost purely K-pop-y group, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's them. Everyone knows.
They're also like very healthy in a unique way in this list of artists, where like it feels like the it girl of the moment is like constantly shifting, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, yes, Chang Won-young's a constant. Yes, An Yu-jin is like a constant variable in this equation here. But like, I remember there was a moment where like Ray was getting a lot of spotlight for being the, you know, the funky, quiet, funky weirdo. And then there was a moment where like Liz was getting a huge amount of spotlight for her updated visuals, and like there was a moment where Galu was getting a lot of spotlight. Like, it feels very healthy to kind of spread that popularity all around. And like if you think about where I've began with the amount of concerns we had of this ending up being An Yu-jin, Chang Won-young plus 4 other girl kind of a group, I guess we didn't have anything to be worried about.
Turned out okay.
Yeah.
Starship has
more than
handled
okay.
them extremely well at the detriment of some of the other groups at their company. Boom. Okay, continue.
Ooh.
Oh. Gugudan?
Wait, Gugudan's not a Starship.
No. I'm just talking about like IOI groups in general.
Okay.
Anita, pick a group you want to diagnose.
Pick a group.
Why IOI? They weren't even in IOI. They're in IZ one.
Oh no, I meant like audition show groups in general.
Okay. I was just confused.
Group I want to talk about.
I need to say, pick a spicy one.
Pick a spicy
I
one.
am a coward and I did not.
Oh, okay. I have one that just came to mind that I feel like for sure about. Islet. So if we want to talk about Islet,
Okay, what is?
my
Well, I need a-
diagnosis. Oh,
Number one, do we all agree with the 4 placements so far?
Yeah.
Like, we can move
yes.
them.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Are we
Yeah.
fine with this?
Yeah.
I would say
So far.
out of these 4, the one that I think is most controversial is Le Seraphim, because I could see people wanting to put them in between yellow and green, right? But if
Yellow,
you had to
green.
put them somewhere, you end up in yellow. That's my opinion, right? The rest of them
I
I
think
think
so
are.
too.
I think so too. The reason I originally pushed for yellow is because the drop off has been a little more aggressive than I was hoping to be.
Sure.
On the other hand, I'm still hoping that they can kind of rebound. I know Spaghetti did a lot of good stuff with the specific audience. So
And then where are you putting Islet if you had to put it somewhere?
I think Islet is in the blue, still growing.
Ooh,
Okay.
You disagree?
okay.
You disagree?
Doug, what do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think?
What is your diagnosis?
As probably the biggest Islet fan here, right?
Yeah.
I'm either a blue or a yellow. I don't know.
What?
Like
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Ooh.
say green. I was gonna say healthy.
Dang.
I'm still concerned about this group relative to the fallout of another group in this list.
Right. Yes.
It still concerns me because I'm a fan of both of these groups, and I still
Yeah.
think it's having an effect on obviously both of these groups.
I mean, it's gonna
Interesting.
have
Like
a fallout for the rest of their
the
lives.
idealist
Yeah.
in me who likes Islet and who's a big fan of One He now being blonde. By the way, she's blonde right now.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen
Wants
some
me
teaser
to
stuff.
solidify and say like, yeah, they're still growing. We got a lot of room to grow. But on the other hand, I'm not sure, guys. It like,
Really?
Really?
yeah,
Really?
like I
guess-
want them in blue, ideally, but like, I have my concerns.
I guess I was seeing them in blue, still growing, due to the recent stuff like Not Cute Anymore and how viral that went.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've solidified a bit more the branding, the sound, the aesthetic. So I don't know. I guess I kind of still saw them as like growing in that sense and getting a positive reaction from like general public.
Okay, I guess what I'll say is number one, they're coming back in 10 days too. All these groups are coming back now, which is crazy.
Right.
That's why I
This
wanted
might
to do this
change.
now. Yeah.
This might change. But what I'll say is one bad fact about Islet, as someone who's an Islet fan that I
Sure,
know, is
yeah.
that every release since the debut has had less album sales.
This is not true.
It's a straight fact.
Oh, that is
What are you talking
concerning,
about?
isn't it?
No. Okay. Super Real Me. The
the
first
final
week-
sales. I'm not talking about first week. I'm talking the final sales.
Oh, okay.
Have always been lower. From what I'm seeing, Super Real Me ended up at in Korean sales 717K. I got I Like You at 641K. I have Bomb at 524K. I have Not Cute Anymore at 348K. I mean 384K.
This is okay.
Oh,
Here's where this is interesting. If you look at the first week sales, other than
Uh-huh.
not Cute Anymore, there's constant growth.
All right, well that's good because on Circle Chart final sales, it continuously goes down.
Okay, here's my take. If it wasn't for Not Cute Anymore, I would have said yellow. Like, I would have said warning.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
But
I have the opposite opinion of that release. Then.
the thing with Not Cute Anymore is I know it went viral. I know it did rounds with the general public. I know people were making TikToks to that shit. Fucking put, grab your partner.
Don't even know Eyelet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they'll be able to replicate it. But it felt like it was a clear call out that Eyelet is somehow able to connect with the easy listening, chill music, K-pop folks in a way where we are still like very much excited and we're still engaged. You know what I mean? We're not,
I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys are so excited. So let's put them in blue then. Okay. I would love for that. No, that's like, as an Eyelet fan, I'm happy you guys want to put them in blue. I guess I'm just overly concerned,
Well, we're instead of green first.
I'm kind of mixed. I was gonna say blue or green. I'm okay with blue though. I feel like they could grow. Are they still
okay,
growing?
let's leave it there for now.
That's the question. No, is it still growing as in we're sure that they're still growing, or is it still growing of like we think they could? You get what I mean? Like those are two different things.
Potential.
Because NMIX is a group that is definitely growing, but is Eyelet a group where we're just hoping that they're growing? You know?
Well, see, you got me doubting now because to me, I thought like for sure Eyelet still has room for growth, but I don't know.
I was gonna say Eyelet for sure can still grow. Like,
all right, put them in blue then. Put them in blue. I'm happy if you want to put them in blue.
We'll reevaluate. We'll reevaluate.
Okay, I have to do it. I have to do it. We talked about Eyelet. I fucking can't.
Talk about the other group.
We have to talk about New Jeans.
Yeah.
And New Jeans, I'm gonna put in red.
Hey,
really?
I agree with that because if we get New Jeans again, whatever remains, it seems like it's going to be 3. It's a totally different thing, in my opinion.
It's not New Jeans anymore. Yeah,
it's something new.
The one group that I originally had as a part of this lineup today, and I took out because it felt like I am not very well aware of their recent comebacks enough to comment on it. It's 50/50. Who had a very strong rebrand in the past couple years after a series of legal battles. I am pretty concerned. Okay, it's worth noting that 50/50 has a pretty solid community at the moment. It's just I don't know much about it to comment on it. The thing with New Jeans is first of all, their member lineup is drastically changing. Second of all, their creative direction is up to the hands of people who, again, were excited about bringing on Billboard producers to make the rest of their comebacks when that is literally the reason. The fact that they didn't rely on Billboard producers was the reason New Jeans popped off. So to me, again, that communicates that the executive production team does not know what the fuck to do with this group.
Well, they didn't know what to do. It's over. We could talk past tense, in my opinion, with this group.
Damn. Okay. I mean, they're training for they're practicing for something.
Do you think they're gonna keep the name? That's my first question. I've always wondered this.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
It's less of a fuck you than calling it NJZ. You know, like.
I don't know, dude. Like, is it gonna piss people off if they pretended the original name? I wonder. Like, these are just thought questions I've been having lately.
Yeah.
Would I want it to be the original name? Kind of, because I feel like the members are still there. It's not like they're adding new people. I don't think.
TVXQ kept the name, right? So
they did.
The thing is, like, call me bunny uncle, whatever the fuck. Like, I feel like the fact, I don't know. It feels like calling them New Jeans. Yeah, it's a bit of a fuck you. It's a bit of a middle finger. Like,
yeah.
But like,
to who?
To me.
Okay.
Fans.
Yeah, as a fan. The thing is, like, if they like renamed it to NJZ, I'd be fucking infuriated.
No, they will never do that.
I mean, here's the thing. I hope no one gets angry at us about putting them in red right now because I can't. We're beyond the point of warning right now. We've had a lawsuit, guys.
Past that.
Like we're so far. Like here's the thing. They're dead in a figurative sense where like LOL, like this shit's done. But
More like
I will be more than happy to that when we bring this shit back to move them into somewhere else once we see what happens. But functionally, we're so far beyond this being a warning, right? We're so far beyond there. I don't think you could be more far beyond this being a warning, considering we had multiple lawsuits that are still ongoing about this, right?
Oh god.
Like, and by the way, 50/50, oddly enough, they don't have any real like crazy viral. They have some TikTok viral songs, but commercially nowhere near Cupid. But the album sales are exponentially increasing.
Yeah,
right now.
I know they have a strong base, and I know they have a strong community.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's where like that's literally why I didn't include them, because like I didn't want to speak on something I'm not super aware of.
New Jeans is that band-aid that has to be there until we see further, right? It has to.
I think in a year we know maybe we revisit, but
well, I always thought we could do this once in a while as like a stonks up, stonks down type of thing. You know what I mean? That's like I've always wanted to do something like that, but I didn't know how. This is essentially what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
It's essentially what we're doing.
It's a stonks down, but hey, that means you should buy now.
It could go up.
Should invest right now. Get some options going. Over leverage this and invest.
Buy the T and Jay-Z triple. Let's move on. Doug, pick a group you want to talk about.
I could pick an easy one or a hard one. Like,
I feel like these are all hard now. Like, we got rid of the easy ones.
Yeah, there's some hard ones here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. I think there's one hard one that I don't know.
Well, there's one on the top row that I'm debating touching or not.
Exactly.
I have strong opinions in one direction, but I don't think people will be very happy because every time I talk about this group, people say things. You know what? F it. Let's do it. I will pick Baby Monster.
Hey.
Right?
Hey. What do you think?
And my honest opinion about this group is people say I don't like this group. I would put them in still growing despite the shitty decisions that are happening at YG. Honest opinion. Because it is undeniable that they are selling well and they have a ginormous presence within Asia. They might not be the same in the West, but this is a monster-sized group in Asia, specifically outside of Korea.
I see that.
Okay.
You think we're in warning? Do we think we're in warning?
No. I don't think. No. Look. I probably shat on their music the most here. I don't think they're in warning sign at all. One thing I think about with Baby Monster is always wondering like how much more, how bigger the reach can be with the kind of music they're doing, because like they have been pretty consistent about their music style. From like the very beginning, and they've seen a lot of growth. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I do recognize that it's very limiting to a certain degree, to a certain audience that really likes that music. So I don't know. Like, I'm also aware that Baby Monster's been around for like how many years now? 3 years. This is the third year.
It's been a minute.
They're coming back in May 4th. Everyone's coming back in this chart within like 3 weeks.
Dude, you got to do it between the Olympics and the World Cup. Like, it's not a big window.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right.
I feel like they're very healthy. They're definitely very healthy. I'm not exactly sure how much more growth we can see if they keep going in this current musical direction. However, if you kind of abandon that and do other stuff, I know it's gonna abandon the current base that they have. You know what I mean? So I don't see that happening anytime soon. So to me, that's where I was like green, but like, maybe I might be wrong.
It's weird because like Sheesh and Drip went number 10 on the chart, right? But then Hot Sauce went 109th and We Go Up went 91st. Like, that's a huge difference between like a 9-month period between these types of tracks, right?
Yeah,
that's insane how different that is.
I'm also aware like Baby Monster's like streaming numbers in Korea haven't been the strongest either. Like, they haven't.
Here's my honest. Okay.
Oh no, keep going.
I feel like we're one good song and a Rami comeback from putting them into a positive growth trajectory again. Am I wrong?
But I think they've been saying that Rami's not in the comeback.
She's not. She is.
So
Is she okay?
I guess I was also leaning green. I'll say that because I'm not sure. I guess when I think of Baby Monster, my initial thought is like, yeah, they're not like it's 3 years in, but like that's not
solid,
a lot.
right?
Yeah, like it's in between. Like you could still have more room to explore, to have a hit, but I also feel like I guess in the same perspective as Warren, where like I don't think they're changing their sound.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'll concede to put them in green because I think there's room for growth, but I don't see the crazy growth right now, right? So that means I can't put them in blue. So for green's fair because I don't think they're having any major problems right now. But I want them. I want to put them in blue, but I'm gonna have to see something to put them in blue. All right, put them in green. I was wrong with my initial feelings.
It's okay. It's a group effort. Baby Monster is healthy.
Yeah, it is.
Anita? It's your turn now.
let's go with
One of these is so obvious. I think two of these are extremely obvious.
Really?
And you could just blame them on certain things. You could just blame it on certain things and you're fine.
Okay, let's go. I think you're alluding to one group, Kepler. See, and I think I might differ because to me,
that was not the one I was thinking.
Same.
Oh, it's not? It's not? Well, okay, I'm picking Kepler.
I'm going to take the next one, yeah.
My initial diagnosis based on symptoms.
Yes, doctor.
Is kind of in warning. I think it's been a series of events, members leaving and, releases that I thought were not like huge hits, but also like not like I don't think it's trending necessarily down. Maybe just like in the middle.
It's trending down. Like I don't want to be like a doomer here, but like since Bubblegum in August 2019, the album sales have essentially halved, and they haven't had a chart. They haven't had a song chart on Gaon digital chart since the debut song.
I see.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that their biggest general public hit was their debut with Wadada.
Another group were they had won that one a little higher, but it's downward trajectory.
I don't want to put them in red because I think that's a little too far. But I kind of want to put them in yellow as well, especially given like I know the 7 members have kind of joined this extended career path.
Right. Yeah.
I'm also aware that there are further additional member changes. Like Younghoon, I think, kind of officially left with the last comeback cycle. There's changes happening. I'm also not the most confident about Stone music in general. Like it's been very rare where I see a comeback produced by Stone music and I go, yeah, like that's. Or like, sorry, Wake One, not Stone music, Wake One. Yeah, that's my shit. You know what I mean? If you look at the album sales, it kind of tells you how big and how strong the core fandom is at the moment. I am like this in my research for this segment today. I found out it's a little lower than I had expected. So I don't know.
The yellowest of warnings. Like it's like you know how when you get dehydrated and you go bathroom, it's varying shades of yellow. This is as dark a yellow as you can get before we have a problem. Am I wrong? That's how I honestly feel. As someone who's supported this group since the beginning, I'm very concerned, and I don't know what can happen to correct this in the opposite direction, which is sad. Like, hey,
yeah,
Kepler. It's rough out there. We'll have to see what happens, though.
We'll have to see. Should we move on?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. You
Doug,
got 3
or
left.
Who is it?
You got.
Oh.
Is it my turn? It's my turn, right? Yeah, it's my turn.
So.
I'm gonna pick
I
an
don't
easy one.
remember.
I chose 2 hard ones. I'm gonna pick a easy one, and it's XG.
Easiest one. It's the easiest one to put in this track.
XG, I think is. I want to say they're in a bit of a yellow at the moment.
They're in a warning, but it's not of their own making. It's
not.
because of someone else's
Oh,
making.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay.
It's because
Yes.
of their entire production team and their management and what's going on over there.
Yeah, I forgot.
How could you forget?
How could you forget that's the
I
biggest
guess-
storyline about them?
I guess to me, while the news came out, right, they had already done a pretty successful comeback, right? Because Hypnotize came out, and the Core album came out. So I feel like, to me, we got through that and it went well. And then this happened. So to me, I would diagnose warning if the next thing comes out and it's like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? I
think-
understand what you mean, though. I
I
understand the
think
warning.
similar to how this issue that they're having has nothing to do with the music. That's what the status of their group is, though. It's unaffected. You know what I mean?
see.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they've gotten themselves into a warning situation not because they did anything, but because their company's doing stuff, and
Right.
that's honestly the situation they're in, right?
Oh, man.
And while we're waiting to see what happens, you gotta put them there. I think, sadly.
I think of all the groups in this list, they are the most ambiguous in terms of maybe where to put them. Because if this bullshit wasn't going on with their company, I'd maybe even put them in blue.
I would
them in blue.
I would have just put them in healthy because I don't see like new fans out the wazoo for them to be completely.
I don't know. Like I feel like there's still a lot of untapped potential here. The thing is,
Really debut.
if this was a real health checkup, this is the point where I go, okay, I'm referring you to Dr. Johnny
Referral.
X. I'm referring you to go get another x-ray done. Let's look inside what's going on. But he can't do that. So I think for now we put them in warning.
All right. One more thing I want to say is the reason why I wouldn't put them in blue is because y'all say there's a lot of potential there, but I'm not. But as we stated before, it's not about the potential we see; it's about what's happening right now.
That's fair. Sure.
Right?
That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah.
That's comparatively to the other
I
two.
guess.
Because if we could put like which groups could get bigger, almost all of them could end up in blue then, right?
Right.
Like,
right.
why'd you leave me with these two guys? Can we like group project these ones? I don't want to make a stand.
Sure.
up
Okay.
Sure.
Let's go with the
Number
harder
one.
one. Or easy one. Which one do you want to do first?
Well, I think they're quite easy in my mind.
Okay.
Like, all right, how about we both say where we want to put both these groups and then we'll go from there. I want to
Okay.
put Triple S in blue, QWER in green.
Oh.
I definitely that's exactly my diagnosis as well. Like, I think
I was gonna put both in blue,
Oh,
Oh,
but
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think with triple. Let's start with Triple S. I think Triple S
Yeah.
has definitely tapped into their market. They kind of know what they're doing in that aspect. However, if I'm completely honest, I don't think, even though some of the music has been like really solid, acclaimed and whatnot, I don't think they're being pushed too hard in marketing front and they're reaching the right audience yet. And I say that knowing that they already have a very strong audience. I think it might grow even more. And if Girls Never Die showed me anything, I think it's potential that they have a strong layer of like general public relevance that they don't have yet. Like the stuff they did with the Manager show, yeah. Like I think they have a lot of potential there. It's just clearly hasn't been tapped into. So of all the groups here, like they are possibly the group I feel the strongest about in terms of growth.
yeah. In the current state, I think they're definitely on an upward trajectory. A lot. I don't want to say more than the other groups, but I can definitely feel that there's a positive growth that's out independent of their core fandom that bought in with all the NFTs and stuff back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
And a lot of these groups wish that they had an organic core, like a bigger fandom growing outside of the core people. But I think Triple S definitely has that going on right now.
Yeah.
So that's why they gotta go in blue, right?
Blue.
Triple S is in
All right.
blue.
We'll throw them in there. But I think with QWERs, you have to view QWER differently than you view any of these other groups because they're a rock group that's based off of an influencer culture in Korea that people are starting to palate in the general public because there was prejudices against streamers becoming mainstream idols or whatever. But I think now that we've had it time for the dust to settle, I think they know the market that they're in. I think they're playing to the market, and I think people are slowly getting into them. But I think that just the base is very solid right now. I think they've just they've established. Period.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to include them in this discussion is because they're so different from the rest of the groups here. That they have their own niche, and having your own niche means you have a very strong base, and they have a strong base. Whenever you have a very strong base, maybe you're not seeing a ton of growth, but for the long term, you're in it for a healthy run. So, I think for a non-ESPA, non-IVE group, they are possibly the healthiest in this lineup. Yeah.
I guess I could see that argument. I don't know how much more the wave of the rock sound will generate growth, right? In that sense too.
Well, healthy's not about gaining growth. It's are you established and stable? That's how I see it.
Stability.
Right.
Yeah.
So based on that, that's why I feel like they gotta go in green.
I also
Okay.
I'm very well aware that rock music as a whole and band music as a whole is there's so much to tap into in terms of sound diversity. So it's I don't know at the same time I don't think we're moving on from the rock meta trend yet. Who was one of the biggest breakout stars of 2025? Hanroro. She's clearly someone who hinges herself on soft sounding.
Within K-pop?
Not really K-pop, but I'm in terms of the music industry, you know what I mean? So I think there is definitely still a level of relevance with that sound there. But is it always gonna be the same brand of anime opening? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see that with the next comeback,
Yeah, next comeback is death metal for sure.
Whoa.
Baby metal. Okay.
All right.
Do we want to run through this list real quick
Yeah.
and call it a day?
Yes.
All right.
Who goes first?
The still growing folks are, we think, the still growing folks are NMIX, ILIT, and Triple S. The healthy folks on the list, we think, are aespa, IVE, Baby Monster, and QWER. We think there's a bit of an additional checkup needed for Le Seraphim, Kepler, and XG. With New Jeans, we're fucking worried. I think that about wraps it
We're
up.
beyond worried with that group, and I would say Le Seraphim is one half decent comeback from being back in green.
Fair.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Same with
one half
XG.
decent thing.
Yeah.
I think actually I need to see a couple really. Le Seraphim, one good thing, and the good graces are completely back. The vibes are completely back.
Hey, a couple additional comments before we wrap up. If we did not cover your favorite group in this generation, I'm sorry. I gotta draw the line somewhere, man. I can't discuss every group.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't talk about the fucking
But you mentioned it. We tried to pick groups that we had more knowledge.
No, we didn't try to pick groups. Warren picked groups.
Warren did it.
I love that this is a team effort.
It's a team effort to an extent.
Hey, where would you put your favorite group? Now you get to tell us.
Yeah.
If you're angry that I didn't cover
my favorite
Triple S.
groups don't exist anymore.
Oh no.
Damn. Which one do you want to add here, Doug? I'm gonna add Rocket Punch.
they're all Rocket Punch is in there. Ice One is in there. You know.
Damn. Good times.
Good times.
I'm gonna add what else do we add here? Hey, whatever. Hey, aren't you glad we talked about all the hottest groups of 2026? Except for the actually hottest groups.
All the hot groups are the rookie groups, dude. Literally all the hot groups are the rookie groups right now.
I don't know. I'm glad we got to have this conversation without Hearts to Hearts or like Kiki and like, you know, Ifeye and like, you know, these cool groups. Because I think they're not, these folks here, they're not done yet. So we'll have to see where they go from here on. Thank you. That was it.
All right. This has been SojuTalk episode 386. We'll see you guys next week as we cover the start of this whole trend of these groups. Baby Monster next week with some other people. We'll see you guys then, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And here's an extra special shout out to all of our Fiesta Patreons on patreon.com. Bagel, Charles, Cotton Ball, Ellie, Gogu Mama, Honey Pools, Incoming Snail, Liam's Games and Toys, Natalie, NJ Parks, South Texas Once, Siu Sumi. And thank you for joining Soju Talk, your weekly shot of K-pop. Thank you, really.